On today's episode of the Command Center podcast, we got an NFC Championship recap. Obviously a tough loss, but our Super Bowl window is open.
Let that wonder down.
And we also talk about how this historic turnaround, kind of all the elements that went into that, how we got to this moment, and how excited we are to be here. We got a hell yeah, hell nah. Is Terry a top 10 wide receiver?
Hell yeah.
And is Jaden Daniels going to be MVP soon?
Hell yeah.
Stamp it.
That all starts right now. Welcome into the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson here with Fred Smoot and Santana Moss. And as always, we're presented by Cognier Technology. Secure today, shape tomorrow.
Yeah.
And guys,
Sad day, fellas.
sad day. It's kind of so. That's the thing. I'm like.
You caught in between because I'm proud.
So you know what? BC sent out that clip of us doing the season prediction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, they're going to be 11 and whatever. They got a shot at the playoffs. And I remember when we did that, I was like, this is a little optimistic, right?
Yeah.
I thought we'd win like 8-9 games. So to win 12 games.
So I was the closest person. Are you willing to say that? Because I said 11 games.
I don't think you was the one that
this
said
guy right here.
I said 11 games.
We all said collectively 11 games.
It was all of us.
And Fletch is really optimistic when we do that show. He's always so I'm disappointed they lost to Philly, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also like, this is like the craziest season
Of all time.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
And so it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a bummer because you don't want to go out. And I think the way they went out is tough too. Like, you're a good tackling football team. You don't turn the football over, and
You show up and do both of those.
yeah, and so
for those,
that was
man.
tough to kind of negotiate.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I had in my wildest dreams, I did not think that we would be in the NFC Championship game.
No, nobody probably thought we was going to be in the NFC Championship. Make the playoffs? Yes. NFC Championship?
Did you? Okay, real talk. At the beginning of the year, you were like, they're making the playoffs.
This
No way you thought that.
Hey, listen, this is what I felt. And this is what I felt. I said, we got a great coach. We all talked about
Yeah,
that.
great coach.
And we said,
Great GM.
Something is different about this number 5.
Yeah.
But that was, I'm saying, okay, we drafted this because we did the schedule release after we drafted.
And we thought about the draft.
Before he played a snap.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so before he played a
Before we
snap,
saw
I'm
these
saying,
guys,
Yeah.
before you saw him week 2, week 1 against the Tampa Bay and New York, you were like, they're going to, no way.
No way.
I blacked out. I'm back. We're going 12 in.
You know I did.
But you know, that's my point, though.
I
It's
told you
like,
from the start. I don't know. Just show me.
Yeah. And I think they showed us something special. They put everybody on alert. They put the NFL on alert. We are here, and we are here to stay. This ain't no fluke. This ain't no runaround. We're here.
But we just talking about like from the start of just everything starting to form. We didn't see this. We didn't know what it was going to be. Don't get me wrong. We went out there and speculated a little bit before once that, I guess you could say, our schedule came out. We say, okay, this is the games that we can win. This is the games we can lose. But that was just for fun. You know what I mean? We was trying to be team players. You know what I'm saying? But I was sitting over there the whole time like, I'm with you guys, but trust me, like if they won 6, I would have been happy. Just knowing that we won 4 the year before, you know, and you have to start somewhere. So, but trust me, they surprised me. I went along with the ride. They got better every week. And we just got bit.
The ride was unbelievable. Yeah. Nobody saw us beating Detroit. Everybody got Detroit in a Super Bowl window.
Yeah.
Nobody saw us beating Philadelphia one time. They in a Super Bowl window. Tampa Bay is a playoff team. Nobody seen us going to Tampa Bay on the road and beating them with a rookie quarterback and a first-year head coach and a first-year GM. So, no, it was just too new for it to work.
Yeah.
Not like they wasn't good enough.
I almost feel like we did justice for certain teams because, I'm sure Philly was like, thank you for beating Detroit. You know what I mean?
No. Everybody in Philly, while they talking all that trash to me, stay out of my DMs. That's what you do, you Philadelphia fans. We seen the casket y'all rolled out of there. Like, listen, they are over the top.
people were talking to you on your DMs?
Listen, my DMs exploded last night. And some of the rudest. Like, listen, I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. I don't know if y'all just mean like that. It's the city of no love. Like, y'all got to actually at one point be a human being. Be a human being.
But that's why it's fun playing in Philly, though.
Yeah. It is. It is.
Just a bunch
But
of
guess what,
psychos.
Philly? You go and get your licks in now. All right, go and get your licks in now. You better do it right now. If you're gonna beat us, this is the time to get it done because it's Jedi fire soaks his feet into this league. And the best thing I saw yesterday was his his interview. He had a look on his face.
First time I saw some emotion.
That something stank. You know how something stank in the house and your mama looking for it and she know it's coming from your room? That's how he felt yesterday. Like, you know what? My expectations was here.
Yeah.
We came here. I don't like how this feels.
I don't like that.
I don't like how it tastes. I like that.
Well, I think that's one of those things where it's like you talk about drafts and free agency and people talk about bringing in winners.
Yeah.
There's something to that. People who don't like losing, they're not comfortable losing.
Yeah.
They're going to work to not lose.
Yeah, they don't like losing more than they like winning.
And I think that's what you're talking about there, right? It's like when you see the face of the franchise now, the kind of the future quarterback of our organization, and he's like salty.
Yeah.
You're like, oh. I think there's something to that, right?
Yeah, there's something to that, because what if he would have went up there like, I'm just happy we made it here? Then you wouldn't have been feeling the same.
And, Terry said something, Terry's so great in his interviews, in his postgame, he was like, we kind of beat expectations and blah, 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 but I think it's fun, or it's cool for fans to see that raw emotion coming from the quarterback, especially a guy who's been, like you said, Tana, like unemotional this whole year. Like, get up there and do that, because again, it shows what he thought. And to be fair to him, we're going to talk about him here in a second, but like I thought he actually played really well.
He played real well.
And had to make a lot of plays, tight window throws, all the things that people were like, can he do this?
And he did.
And he did it.
I wonder what would have happened if we would have took the draft guru, Tormans Giant Bang, tried to get us to draft Drake May. Then you want us to draft Drake May?
Dude, don't put that ego on me. Dude, if I remember correctly, and I think we kept the receipts on this, you were like, I'm a Drake May guy.
No,
I remember him saying that. You remember that?
I like Drake May, but I was like, I do like Jaden Daniels.
You had all kind of quarterbacks in your damn
Caleb Williams, everybody. But I'm happy that Adam Peters is paid to do the job he's done. He said no.
I think from day one, like the first film, I watched more film of Jaden Daniels than any other quarterback I've ever evaluated. And so, you kind of go through, but the first game I watched was the Florida game, and I was like,
unbelievable.
He's the best quarterback I've ever seen. So again, like we're draft takes, whatever. But again, he's here. And that's the other thing, man. Like we were talking about our preseason stuff. Like I don't care. I thought he was going to be good. I thought he was going to, potentially be like a franchise guy down the road. But for him to be this good,
record breaking good. Like he broke every record a rookie quarterback has. He didn't leave one. The only one he left untouched was winning the NFC Championship and going to the Super Bowl. But every other record for a rookie quarterback in this league belongs to Jedi 5.
Yeah, we were just talking about how Stroud kind of set the bar so high for guys to come in.
Yeah.
And we was like, man, it's impossible.
It's not
this guy,
happen no more.
It's unreal. And then, boom.
Yeah.
This man come right behind him.
And the boom was so definitive.
Because guess what? Both of these teams kind of rose from the ashes, right?
Yeah.
Like the Texans was in a total rebuild. First year head coach, first year quarterback, very similar to what we got going on here, and took the league by storm. They did it good. We came back and did it better.
Yeah. No, I think like Santa, I love that you brought that up, because I was like, hey, C.J. Stroud, he's an outlier. He's like the only rookie quarterback to do that. Justin Herbert maybe, but they didn't win a lot. Herbert didn't win a lot of games. C.J. Stroud did. They played with a good defense, and so for him to come out, the completion percentage numbers, the yardage numbers, the scramble yardage, the touchdown, the poise, the consistent decision making, and
the person,
right? The leadership, it just every single box you wanted checked was checked. And there was a point where I was like, this is too good. I'm a naturally kind of guard myself versus optimism, because then when something bad happens, and I was like, when is the other shoe going to drop? Like, when is he going to play bad?
And
he never really played bad.
He never played bad.
You know, it's crazy because I guess because we all played in this league, and it might be different for you and for you, but for me, I've always felt like it wasn't no one bigger than the other stars. Like, you're a star. You here. You're a star. You here. I never been on a team where it was a guy that I looked at was like, man, he's just better than us. Better than us.
Yeah.
I can honestly say, I watched this kid walk around, how he go about his business, and I'm like, bro, he's here. He's on a different tier. And it's not just saying that from watching him, it's the play. You see what I'm saying? It's every week, it's how much more difficult it gets, just knowing that now everybody has to film, and then you hurt your ribs, or you hurt whatever you hurt there. it got tougher and he got better.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And his game rose to a different level. And it's like, I know we're gonna get there and talk about it, but it was the 2-point conversion play, how effortlessly he threw that damn ball out there.
Just flipped
I thought he was throwing it away. And it's like, he was like, oh, he finna break now.
Yeah.
And the dude popped out. I say, bro, did you see that?
That was a great
pass?
play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I see this kid plays, he has that effect. He has that Mike Vick, that Deion Sanders, that just like the guys who just on a different tier effect.
Even the touchdown.
Yeah.
Like the touchdown, the 2-point conversion. I was like speechless. I was like, this dude.
I think we was ready to ask the question. When is it going to be too big for him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, that's the big question.
And I thought this game might be that game.
Because it's the NFC Championship.
Against the best, second best defense in football compared to Kansas City, whatever. First, second, whatever. Against a team that knows you really well. They know what you like to do. Like, you got a little, I want to say lucky, but you hit some explosive plays in the last game.
What about the stage, Logan?
All of those things, man. Yeah. And then he comes out and he takes 2 sacks, but he's throwing the ball away. He's making good decisions. He's finding open guys. He's delivering tight window throws over the middle of the field. And I just was like, if there's a time to trip,
it's now.
It's now. Yeah.
And it's acceptable to do it. Like, because it's like your child. Yeah. Like you waiting on your child, like, come on, I made that same mistake. You gonna make that mistake. And then you had that one child to be like, no, I learned from you. Yeah. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah. I'm not gonna do it. That's what he is.
Not only that, man, I just said this to Fred when we first walked in. I'd have loved to see that game without the turnovers. Because for us to do what we was doing, like even at the time when it was 12-20.
Yeah.
Even at the time when we was down by 11, where it was
was a game.
It was a game, and it was because of the kid. You see what I'm saying?
Point.
He had us in this game, and you had no doubt in your mind it's gonna be a play or two made eventually by 5, sooner or later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You let us stay around here. If our team could get on the same level as he is and play, complimentary ball on defense and offense, hold on to the ball, complimentary ball on offense, 5 gonna make a play to change this game. Yeah. And it was just another turnover. You know what I mean? Another turnover.
That's a great point.
That's another setback.
I had the same thought because I was like, man, he's like, if you look at, I watched a little bit of the film, not all of it, but a little bit of the film this morning, and I was like, man, like he's making good decisions, making tight window throws. And you could see there was a level of fatigue in the Philadelphia defense when they were on the field for a long time. And I'm like, there's going to be, he will be able to find an explosive play. Or I thought he would be able to. But again, the game flow gets to a point where they didn't touch the ball for like 9 minutes.
Yeah, they did.
So it's just, again, like it was extremely frustrating that they went out that way. And I know fans
really
frustrated.
What about that run in the end zone on that option?
Listen
to me. To
your point, it's like that when you're just like, these are the best athletes in the world. Yes. And like I think people sleep on that. Like those dudes on the field are incredible. Yeah. The way they tackle, the way they run.
Part of the 1%.
Of the 1%. They're way up there, right? And for him to just be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
No. Let me walk y'all through this as a defensive player.
Talk to me.
On the left corner.
You and your turtleneck.
Y'all are going to run a option to us. We have overran this option. Yeah. It's 5 of us over here. That means I went to the club and brought friends. We are here to tackle you. You cut it back to the belly. Well, you cut it back to where my big boy is at.
When he did that, I was like, he's going to get
destroyed. Destroyed.
He cut that thing back and gave 3 people whiplash. Yeah. I'm telling you, that's not normal. I played against Mike Vick.
Yeah.
Mike Vick had that ability, but
Dude, but Mike Vick had just straight gas.
Yeah.
Like
he was just
it's different with Jaden.
You saw it.
It's a little.
Like with Jaden, it's like
this dude just smooth.
I'm just gonna do it.
There you go.
I can just do this. I can do this. This is easy. Let me do this.
He's like, by the way, I'm running an option. Y'all just stopped it, but you didn't guard me over here.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it was crazy. And again, it wasn't like he did a lot in this game, but like to see Zach Ertz play so well.
Oh,
Terry with a breaking tackles and like yards after catch, like
Rice-A-Roni
looking like a dude right there.
Yeah.
The offensive line, Trent Scott has a good day. Like gives up one pressure, but like I think on the whole,
phenomenal day.
Has a really solid performance. Game plan by Cliff, really good. And it's tough, man. The turnovers really.
I sat there and said to myself, was the week too big for these guys?
I don't think so.
Dude, you know what's
honestly, because it's just like you have that long drive, and then defensively, I didn't see a guy want to touch the ground. To me, it seemed like that first carry by Saquon
said everything.
It was like we didn't tackle this week. We was in shorts and or sweats, and it was too cold to go out there and really be physical. And this play right here showed it all.
Yeah, man.
Why did I have a nightmare about Gilly the Kid last night?
when they had him bring the team out, I say, "Oh my God!"
And did y'all see him in the locker room after the game?
Yo, drop the damn trophy. I said, "This dude's a fool, man."
I was like, you know what? This means it's getting too personal. If I'm taking this stuff home with me now, if I can't sleep,
did you really have a dream?
I had a nightmare about Gilly the Kid just doing this the whole damn time in my dream. I was just waking up in cold sweats. It was a terrible night's sleep for me last night.
Yeah, and so just to kind of put some context on what is historic, Fred, you're always talking about how he's breaking records, right? He had 822 passing yards, most by a rookie in postseason history, and most in a single season in franchise history, passing Joe Theismann, 774 passing yards from 1983. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah, people forget how good Joe Theismann was.
And he killed that. Yeah. And he just, you said the moment, not too big, killed it against Detroit, killed it against Tampa Bay.
He emotionless field killer. He don't care.
Yeah.
He's the type of dude, shoot a deer in the woods and smile. He's that dude that hunts like that.
What's going on over here?
No, I'm just telling you, man. The guy I'm going to tell you what. His play, and not just him, the rest of the guys too, made Washington's America's team. It was people of other fan bases pulling for us.
No doubt.
They wanted us to be in that Super Bowl. Like, we became the darling of the NFL season because of these guys.
I spoke on it last night on the post-game show on Game Day Live, and I was like, bro, like it's one thing of us being high on our guys and talking, how good they are. But every stadium we done been in this year, when we see a former player, yesterday we talked to Shady McCoy, and he came over to us and said, "Hey man, what's up, y'all?" He told me and BC that he watched our shows. He's like, "Hey man, I watched our shows. I like how y'all do that. That thing be fun." But he say, "Man, Jaden's so good." Like every former player I've spoken to in a different stadium that played this game or that's watching this game, man, they talk highly of Jaden, and that just goes to show you, man, they see what we see. It's not just us talking, ad nauseum about something because I guess you can say we can be biased about it because this is the team that we follow. But everybody see it, man. They know how special this kid is.
But look how quick the switch happened. We went from the most hated team in sports to America's darling.
Yeah.
Like overnight, the story happened, and it happened from week one. Like from week one, it was always this storyline. And everybody, like, you know how you get somebody's attention, they like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
Like, everybody was wondering what's going on in Washington from week one. And
I think saw something different.
Yeah, they saw something different about this team, especially in one of the best, like I said, quarterback classes of all time. This was the first time, 6, 7 quarterbacks went in the first round?
Yeah.
They all turned out to be damn good.
So far, so good, man.
So it was crazy, man.
Yeah, and so obviously a lot of really positive things there from Jaden Daniels. I think the turnover, we talked about that a little bit already. Like, the Eagles had 35 points off of turnovers.
You can't win like that.
35 points. Like, there was a period of time, I forget the exact moment, but I was talking on the broadcast, and I was like, they've had 2 turnovers, they're down by 14. They've had 3 turnovers, they're down by 21.
Yeah,
you know
that's what I'm saying, bro.
And, like, they came at bad times on short fields, too. Like,
ain't no good time
it was so frustrating watching the game because you were like, this is what we needed to do to Philly.
Yeah.
We need to put them on short fields, get the ball out, find these explosive defensive plays, game-changing plays. And for a team that's been so good through the playoffs and through the season, protecting the football, it was just kind of... It felt like it was a little too big, the moment at times. Like, and the thing, I'll say this too, like Diami's over-trying, right?
Yeah.
McNichols over-trying. Austin Eckler over-trying, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and then obviously the fourth down on the turnover on downs, like you're down 3 scores. You need to get that possession, and they don't get it. So I don't know. I just felt like they were just too much.
One team was reaching. One team felt like we've been here before.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to put it.
And Philadelphia never got outside of who they were.
Yeah.
While we were trying to, whatever it takes, kind of survival mode. They was in, all right, we just going to go and do what we've been doing. This is routine to us.
Yeah.
We're not going to just come out here and throw the ball all over New York, because that ain't what we do. We got the best running back in football. We're going to hand him the ball.
Yeah.
And when you hand him the ball on the first run and he takes it 60 yards, that's just demoralizing right there.
No,
that's just demoralizing right there.
And just not, and we talked about it on the Command Center show and previewing like fitting gaps and stopping the run, like just guys not playing right leverages, guys not forcing the run back, guys not setting hard edges, guys missing tackle, and that's not who they've been, which is the other frustrating thing about it. Is like this is not who this team has been. That's not how they're coached. So just a frustrating performance, and just I think I'm sure very disappointing for fans. But I think there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic moving forward. For sure, we're going to talk about that in a second. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is just kind of a funny little moment that happened in the game.
Tidbit.
Little nugget, which I thought was funny. I don't want to get your guys' thoughts on. So the tush push, right? There was that sequence down. I think that was in the third quarter, right, where they were kind of defending the tush push.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of false starts, and it's kind of a funny sequence, and it's like everyone kind of staring at each other.
Coco Beware comes over the top ropes a couple of times.
Dude, that was sick, by the way.
Listen to me. I enjoyed it because it's going to bring up conversation in the offseason about, is this play legal?
Yeah, well, you brought that up in the production meeting. What do you mean by that?
All right, check this out. Sometimes to get people to look at the FARs, you need to maybe let a little smoke come from it. This play has been questioned the last couple of years when they first started it 3 years ago. Is it a rugby play or it is a football play? Is it safe or is it not safe?
Yeah.
Should we allow it or should we not? Well, if people just doing it willy-nilly and the defense ain't doing nothing to counteract it, they just gonna let it happen.
Yeah.
So when you stall a game like Frankie Louvu and the defense did, now it makes the NFL go back this offseason and say, is this play worth it?
Yeah.
Should we take this play out?
If defenses, especially in like short yardage situations,
If they start to react like we did sporadically, like and say, you know what, since y'all gonna do this with the center, don't forget, the center hedging anyway. The ball is here, the center is already over the ball.
Yeah.
Like, so John Allen is trying to get to the ball.
It's a muddy formation to be sure.
Yes.
Like it's a by rule, and I think there was one versus Kansas City, and you watch Kansas City, they're all in the neutral zone, they're all trying to fight for those yards. And actually, like, if you want like a football nerdy thing here, I actually really like that because you can tell they planned that. Yeah. And he's punching for the ball every time.
Yeah.
Because the only way to stop it is to get the ball out.
Get the ball out.
So I really liked that was the thing. And the thing that got me about it was like, it's a little bit of gamesmanship, right?
Yeah.
We got them on one, the ball comes out, they get backed up to two. They do it again. They go on cadence a couple times. Dude, I was standing right behind the center. Dude, Jalen Hurts was staring directly at Frankie Louvu. Yeah. And Frankie Louvu was staring directly at him. Like they hated each other's guts.
Yes. And Frankie was inching up as he looks at him, and he's trying to get the cadence right. Jalen would hold it just a tad bit. I watched him hold the ball. He didn't hike it, and watch Frankie Louvu jump right past him. I was like, what? I like the NFL. They have to address it.
But my thing is not only addressing it for that simple fact of us kind of exposing it, saying that, hey, man, it's just not safe. And if you want to sit here and talk about safety, what we're trying to do when it comes to CTE and all this stuff going
playing with everybody going ahead.
These guys are already, in the trenches is already, them the guys that's having more head trauma than anybody. Yeah. And then just to say, you're going to allow this to happen. You know what I mean? Not Tampa, but Buffalo does it just as well as Philly do it. Yeah. So it's just not a safe place. So if you wanna basically look at it and go check it out, talk about it this offseason because of that, more so.
And I think the other thing, too, is like head trauma, because, again, it's pretty close. So you're not getting like big, but, again, because it's the speed and all that stuff. But every single time they do it, the offensive line, they're getting up like back, knee,
talking
ankle,
everything.
And watching them do it, it's like this can't be good for them to be doing
like
this.
It takes a little piece of their life for us
every single time
they do it.
Absolutely. And it's a tough play. And I remember back, this is probably 10 years ago now. Like, you could not touch the pile.
Yeah.
Like, I could not push the runner forward.
That shouldn't be ain't
That's
legal.
what I'm saying.
And
It don't make sense.
And
to
so
me.
now all of a sudden it's become a standard. And sometimes it's good, like, when the guy catches the ball downfield, it leads to these exciting moments where the offensive line comes
Just
down.
come pushing me. I'm fine with that because he already got momentum.
But you couldn't do that before.
Yeah.
I would have had to been like, for example, like if Tana's got the ball and he's getting tackled, I would have had to block the player that's tackling Tana to move forward. And so that's just a weird kind of gap that showed up now. But again, the thing that I wanted to talk about is the referee gets on the old microphone there and says, just so everyone's aware, we can award a touchdown
If y'all do this for the 9th time.
if you guys do it again. And I have never heard of that. And our producer Jason does such a great job finding little facts. It has happened one time in the history of college football.
Yeah.
So Alabama running back Tommy Lewis left the Alabama bench on a big kickoff return or something, entered the field of play and tackled, I can't even say that name, Dickie, what do you think? Mogul. At the Alabama 42-yard line. Apparently believing
He came off the sideline to tackle him.
he thought it was going to be a 5-yard penalty for illegally coming on the field.
Yeah.
But they were like, actually, this guy would have scored.
Without him messing
Yeah,
the
so let's
play
just
up.
call it penalty. That feels a little bit different than this.
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
totally different than this. Now, the closest thing in the NFL that happened to this, if
Was
y'all
the-
remember, with Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin,
Mike
yeah.
Tomlin.
When Coach, the old ball coach, stuck his leg out there.
But that is crazy that's only happened one time. And then in an NFC playoff game,
No. The NFC
Championship
game.
the ref's like, I'm going to give them a point, a touchdown. I don't know. It just was a weird deal for me.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I, as a football fan, kind of enjoyed the gamesmanship of it. It's like, you got to go 6 inches. Who cares if it's half the distance? We're just going to keep doing this.
I'm going to jump outside and give you 3 inches more.
And the other thing I loved about it is, like, talk about defending every blade of grass. Like it wasn't like Dan Quinn was like, Frankie, chill out. He was like,
Go get him,
do it
Frankie.
again.
I mean, you was geeked about that. I was geeked that Frankie could get up and just keep doing
it. No, listen. I was like, did this dude used to wrestle? Because this dude,
He didn't care.
he
man.
loved every moment.
Yeah,
like,
he
you
did.
could tell
He
when a
did.
football player, like, you know what?
He was talking to the damn official like, yeah, I'm gonna do it
Yeah, no,
again.
the official was like, Frankie, don't go over top. I got you.
I got you.
Over top I go. All right, Frankie, we gonna stop this play again if you do it again. No problem. I'm gonna do what my coach told me to do. I'm a kamikaze.
Yeah.
Like, guess what?
No, that's what he do.
Nobody left that game yesterday that don't know the name Frankie Louisville.
No doubt.
Dude, his ability to anticipate the snap count and just blitz, and you talk about what a Crash Bandicoot, just Crash Bandicoot everyth all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That's what he do.
He's just a dog. And that's the other thing. We talk about Adam Peters, talk about the organization. That was one of the first guys they brought in, was Frankie Louisville.
Yeah.
Dog competitor.
Dog.
Man.
Dog.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's this much grass we got to defend. I'm going to jump over the pile.
Yeah.
5 consecutive plays.
Sacrifice.
Because I'm trying to get that ball out because it's not a touchdown yet.
Yeah, and not yet.
And there's something really, really, really special about bringing those types of people in here like that. All right, so that's kind of a recap of the game, high-level thoughts. Obviously not exactly the best way to end. But so we're going to do a season overview real quick. And one of the things I wanted to do before we got into the meat of this was just be like, best memories for you guys from this year.
I wish we had Jason. You're gonna have to play like solemn music right now if we go through the past.
No, this should be like, it should be like Mardi Gras, like da, da, da. It should be exciting because like
it has to be that the music that really make you think about the year. It got to be the mixture of good and bad.
like a punch cut for you, and then just like a little
right
like
there,
a single tear.
It started out with a loss in Tampa, then we bounced back with a victory against the Giants. We haven't beat the Giants, and I think we beat the Giants.
That's right.
6,
Field
7
goals.
field
Yeah.
goals. Then we leave and beat the Giants by kicking field goals with a kicker we no longer have, and then we go to Cincinnati Monday night.
Dude, how about that game?
They introduced
That
the
Cincinnati
world
game, man.
to Jaden Daniels. We bounced
That's
back
where it started.
out. Yeah. Then
And think about, like, that's the other thing. I was talking to someone about this morning on the other show I was doing, and it was just like, how cool was that moment to cover as guys that cover the team?
Yeah.
Where it's like, how many times have the Commanders or the Redskins or the Washington football team lost a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, prime time. We don't normally win those games.
prime time.
And
Don't normally beat the Giants. Don't win on prime time.
Yeah, we not only went out there and won on prime time, but it was in the fashion we did it. You know what I mean? It was your quarterback stepping up, getting hit in the face,
Beating
and
Joe Burrow.
and throwing to your best player, your best wide receiver, who actually told you, called his number, like, hey, give me this play. I'm gonna do something special. And that's where it started. And not only to say it started there as far as those two guys, building their chemistry, but I remember the conversation me and Terry had after that. Right after that game, when he gave me a hug, and I was like kind of caught off guard. Like you can tell a guy, he was excited. He said, "Tanner, that's all. Hey, they gonna have to come to me now. I just showed them what I can do when that ball come my way." And I spoke about it then on our post game show, and it's been history since. Every week it's been a Terry site. Yep. So that's where it started, man. That's where they started building this thing they have, and they took it all the way to the almost to the promised land with it.
Then when we got out to the Bengals, did we go Ravens?
They blow out Arizona.
Yeah. We go to Arizona because we don't come home.
Yeah.
They don't come home. They send them right from Cincinnati, send them to Arizona.
Just a difference in leadership too, being willing to invest that money to make sure that they're winning football games. Yeah. They beat Cleveland badly. Remember they beat
Cleveland? They did. Cleveland got everything they deserved.
And then going to Baltimore and going toe-to-toe with Baltimore was impressive. Like the Hail Noah is the next one. Like
it ruined one team skyrocketed to the NFC Championship. The other team won not now another game. You heard me, not now another. All right? So it's unbelievable what one play could do to a season.
But also just like the vibe. Like the vibes, like I remember you talking about when we did the show, when we reviewed the game, it was like, has there been a better moment in that stadium?
No.
And so we were here for that because of this team, because of these guys. And I think because, you lose this game, you forget about all of these tremendous things. Up in New York, they beat New York twice in 1 year. Yeah. And then there's this other thing, like the 2-minute situations in every single game, 2-minute end of game situations, right?
Yeah.
Really to score points and just execute at a high level, just incredible, right? Like the crazy ending in the Dallas game, where Terry has that long run, he missed the PAT, and it's wild, man. The overtime drive versus Atlanta.
Oh yeah, to win that game. Thank you. I needed that. That was against the ex-wife.
This guy over here.
It was.
And then 2 playoff wins.
Yeah.
Going to Detroit and winning the game.
Yeah.
Like it's such a special year, man.
Especially when Detroit was crowned as the belle of the ball, the Super Bowl contender. This is Detroit's year, and for us to go up there and just drop a turd on that pizza. I enjoyed
on that Detroit pizza. I mean, it just was like, I can't overstate like how special it was this year.
It's been a hell of a ride.
Hell of a ride.
These youngsters have taken us on a ride. They have rejuvenated a fan base.
A fan base.
They rejuvenated a fan base with hope. They rejuvenated with a fan base of how, listen, we got to put on shades. I'm talking Gucci to look into this bright future, because the future's so bright because of the foundation that these guys have laid. This was beyond fun. Now, I think we crashed on this sugar high because of the way we lost.
Yeah.
But I'm still like ecstatic on the year that we had.
And this is something like, again, like this is like more nerdy, like long. In some ways, I think like obviously going to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl would be best case scenario.
Yeah.
But I kind of think getting to this game versus this team and losing this way is helpful. People say why? Because it shows you exactly
where
you're at, and what you need to do to make sure that you're here all the time.
And how many times have we seen the young startup team go beyond the place they should be, but we know they just not there yet. Like this happens. This is the building step to a championship.
So I was talking to Santana about this the other day, and in 2012 we killed it, right? In playoffs, everyone's excited. RG3's doing like rehab for week 1 or whatever he's doing,
ready for week 1.
And so we re-signed everybody. We didn't change anything, and we had a tougher schedule. We played tougher teams because we were on a first-place schedule, and we didn't do well. You know what I mean? We weren't ready for it, and I think like this is a great reminder in the grand scheme of being a perennial team that's always successful, of being like, these are some things we need to improve on, and I think that's great. But another thing I want to point out here too is just how special this is. Jane Daniels and Dan Quinn have won 14 games this season, including playoffs. That's tied for the most by any starting quarterback head coach combo in their first season with the team since the 1977 Broncos, which were helmed by Craig Morton and Red Miller. Which,
Lord have mercy.
I don't even know what to say about that.
I thought Red Miller was your uncle.
Yeah, it was probably in a past life. But like that's all of these memories, all of these emotions, all of these feelings that we're feeling, the fans are feeling, I think are summed up in this. Like this is an historic moment.
It is an historic year that should never be forgotten. I think it's the year that Washington became America's new team.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of push us into this offseason, and you're actually going to see, or I hope to see, what this organization really is trying to be, the way they kind of approach this offseason. It's one thing of saying, I'm going to lick my wounds, I'm going to feel sorry for myself, or no, I'm going to dive right into this draft now and go out there and pick the best players that I can add, and then I'm going to make sure I sum that up by keeping some of these guys that we have. And for every player, because this is what I hope, because I think a lot of times as players, we have a run like this, we go to the postseason, and then we just trying to, I need to relax, I need to vacate. No, take your time off, man, but get back into it. Because if you look at last season as if it's going to happen again, it's not. It's only going to get tougher. And not only tougher for you individually, but also
on the team.
On the team. Now,
it will be a first-case schedule on this team.
The schedule's going to be that much more tougher, but also it's going to get tougher for you as a player, because now you're going to get better competition that want to come here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You're going to get guys that may be them number ones that we're looking for or that we need, that's going to say, hey, well, I'm willing to challenge you for your job. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's why I look at it, and I'm hoping, I can't say I hope, I kind of have that feeling that what we're starting here with Dan and with Josh and everybody and, AP, I think they have that mindset. They're going to make sure that this is not just something that you say, oh, well, we got this far first year.
No, we're going to go get better.
They want to see this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that leads us really nicely into our next segment, which is risking it for the biscuit.
Risk it.
And we risked it by, I guess, starting the season and creating a new team. And as always, Risk It for the Biscuit is presented by Marsh McLennan Agency, your partner in risk and people strategies. And what I mean by that is when this season started, we had a new GM, we had a new head coach, new owner of the year prior. Yep. We had a league-high 26 free agents in this offseason, 86% roster turnover from the year before.
That means they were 14, so that's including the janitor and the people that work in the cafeteria.
And only five people remain from the year before, which is what you're saying. Yeah. And wow, that is unbelievable.
That's unheard of.
That it went. That you make these personnel decisions, you bring in the coach, and with young players at pivotal spots, obviously Jaden Daniels, Mike Sanders still, Johnny News playing a lot of minutes, rookie left tackle Brandon Coleman.
Yes, who really stood out to me to make some plays.
And to get them to come together in the brotherhood, in and fight and compete and buy into the culture in 1 year, it just seems like unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And don't forget about fleecing the Philadelphia Eagles for a third-round pick for Jahan Dodson and bringing in Marshall. So these are the moves that people forget. We brought this dude in week 9, week 8. It just, the moves, man, are unbelievable.
And for some of the moves, it's like you get your Bobby Wagner, right? Who's second-team All-Pro, 123 total tackles. He's 34 years old, but London Fletcher was 33 when he got here, and looks like he's still. I was here
London first year, man, and he was timeless. Yeah. He was just ready to play football.
And kind of feels like Bobby's got that same thing going for him, and so great addition bringing him from a leadership standpoint. Talk about Zach Ertz in the playoff game.
Oh my God,
Zach Ertz was unbelievable. You know what? It's this thing going on with Zach Ertz and Coach Sirianni.
No, love it.
Because I'm gonna tell you when I say it got Petty Winford yesterday. You remember they was on the goal line and they started to run these tight end
jet sweeps or whatever.
I think he wanted to one up him and say, yeah, you go over there balling, but I'm gonna get to my tight ends and show you what I can do with my tight ends. It's some more going on.
So Graham said that on the broadcast. Sorry to cut you off, Tana. But Fletch was like, how Fletch gets all like salty. He's like, Zach Ertz got 11 catches right now. Who do you think's winning? You know what I mean? And that's true.
But I say this too, man. Regardless of what's going on, as far as Sirianni and Zach, what I appreciated the most is after that devastating loss and the confetti coming down, and them fans stayed in that stadium. I mean, it was a sight to see, bro. Yeah. It was a sight to, like, I sat there, I enjoyed every bit of watching them, and enjoyed that moment. And when Zach Ertz finally left they gave him the biggest standing ovation. Like you would have thought it was a Philly player walking into our tunnel. Zach was going into that tunnel. them fans cheer. I was like, wow. Me and B-Man sitting there and say, you know what, bro, that's nice.
Well,
right
you
there.
ought to see what happened in the tunnel when he got in there with him and Fletcher.
Oh yeah, him and
Cox.
Fletcher Cox. Yeah, I saw that.
That shows some love right there.
Yeah,
Which is the city of brother love ain't got no love. That showed love. We might
Not for you anyway.
They really hate
love
my
for you,
guts
but they got
right now. They hate my guts. That's why I'm about to jump on that Gilly the Kid next video. But that just shows a football fraternity. We don't care win, lose, or draw. We play with each other. We family forever.
I felt good, man, because sometimes it's hard, to like play somewhere and then go back. You don't know how they're gonna receive you, and you can, he got a well welcome and he got a well exit because that was like they didn't have to say nothing to him. Like get out of here, mostly, they just beat us.
Yeah.
And they going on to the Super Bowl, but they say screw that. We're gonna cheer on our guy, man, because he went out there and played well.
That's cool. And to say he played well is probably an understatement because he played excellent. Like every
phenomenal.
third down,
he was the
every
guy.
fourth down, man-to-man coverage, like Reed Blankenship.
He was giving Blankenship the business. I said, boy, Blankenship gonna have a hard day. A long day with that.
When he leans his body into you, he don't need but that much separation.
Well, and also, like, just the thing that I love about it is, like, you go down to tight end you hear, like, Travis Kelce talk. Travis Kelce, sorry. And then, like, all these really good route runners at the position, Kittle. And one of the things that when you watch Zach, he understands, like, hey, if I got outside leverage, I'm going to stem him square. I'm going to double stick. I'm going to break leverage. I know how to do these little things.
Little nuances.
Down in and down out to get open.
One play, the linebacker pushed him into the route. Do you remember what the play on?
I don't know.
It was a third down. He ran like a 5-yard out.
Mm-hmm.
He leaned into him, made the linebacker push him, and when the linebacker pushed him, he pushed him into the route away from him.
Yeah.
Away from him.
I like.
And also keeping your space. Like how many guys you see run away from that reroute and then there's no out throw.
Yeah.
But I'm going to push vertical. I'm going to keep the window and make it so again, like Zach, Bobby Wagner's a great addition. Zach's been a great addition. Austin Eckler's been a great addition. Jeremy Chin, man, I know he didn't have the best game yesterday, but over the course of this season,
I thought he played well the whole season.
Has been tremendous.
Hero on that
and so
defense.
like those are all the free agent people that have come in and you bring them in and on paper.
Not even bringing up Fowler.
Dude, what a year. Frankie
Farrell,
Louvu,
Farrell. Like guys making plays. So we got big decisions to make in
and
the
finding
offseason.
a guy like Holmes, number 96, like off the street.
Yeah.
And for him to be a significant contributor.
What about our kicking situation? Like, big game Gonzalez. All right, listen to me. He's our fifth kicker.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
and think about the work.
He stood tall yesterday.
That it takes for a GM to be like, I have to find the best kicker available.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep. I'm going to keep looking for it, looking for it. And the way they handled the practice squad this year, just bringing in talented people that contributed, finding ways like Chris Rodriguez.
Coming back and forth off of it to make plays.
So again, man, like it. Talk about just when you roll that dice at the beginning of the year. With all these new pieces, like, is it going to work out? Is it going to come together?
But they just show the brainchild of them looking at our old roster the year before and looking at the starters and saying, these ain't starters.
Yeah.
Like, to say that to break down each position and say, no, and to literally go out there and replace those guys.
Yeah.
That's different, man.
But it also shows you how critical it is to have a guy in that position who's sitting in that seat that's his primary job. He's not coaching the team and making these decisions. This is all he does to go out there and pick the litter.
I like that. Shots fired.
Well, it's not even, but it's not even a shot. Like, seriously,
keeping it at 100, right?
It's
That's how you shoot.
I have a friend who represents coaches, right? Who are looking for head coaching jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but some of them. And he says, I actually recommend that they don't do the consolidated model anymore because it's just too much work. You need that position. And I think you see this year the value of having someone who does that full time, like Ten is saying. And Adam is excellent at it.
Yeah.
But see, you do stuff like that in the past when you paying a loser tax.
Yeah.
Like we was paying a loser tax for everything. That means you overpaying for players, you giving coaches a lot more power than you would regularly give a coach. Like you're playing the loser tax. Now we in what they call the winner's bracket. That means instead of overpaying for stuff, now you finna underpay for stuff. Now guys gonna take a pay cut just to come here.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a different intro.
No, absolutely. And so, it really, again, speaks to, we talked about how special the year was. We talked about some of the special memories, but just the fact that it all came together.
Yeah.
This way, I can't just overstate how impressive it was. And again, it's tough that it ended in a loss. But there's one team. There's one team at the end of there that's happy.
It's only 2 teams still playing.
Yeah.
We was part of the last 4.
Yeah, and if you look at the rest of those teams, those are teams that are legit.
They are teams that's been in a Super Bowl window.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. They're in the window.
They're in the window. We the new kids on the block.
We haven't even really started the window.
Just started.
Yeah. So there's a great opportunity for this team, this organization, and we are extremely excited. All right. So last hell yeah or
hell no
of the season.
Hell no, we lost.
Hell to the no.
And I really like this one. This one makes me happy to talk about.
All right.
Terry McLaurin is a top 10 receiver. Hell yeah or hell no?
Hell yeah.
Hell yes. He's showing
yeah.
you I'm one of the best wide receivers. When I get the ball in my hand, I'm one of the best yak wide receivers. I am probably the number 1 competitive catch wide receiver
Sure, I think
in football.
If you look at his contested catch metrics, it's not even close.
It's not even close.
He's clutch, not only for just making the plays, but I think when you have to look at the opportunities that he got this year, his numbers compared to some of the top guys.
Yeah, they get 120 targets.
Much lower than those other guys. And his, I guess, production, was out the roof. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's to me why he's a top 10 guy.
non-diva. Like, they're just that's icing on the cake.
And like, you heard Zach Ertz talk about it last week in Detroit on the sideline as he watching Terry, break on that slip screen and score a touchdown. He's like, that guy he's such a good guy. He's such a good person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Beyond the football things, he's a good person. And that's why he gets that kind of, I guess you can say, reward.
Yeah.
Or he gets awarded those, things that he does so well on the football field because, you hear the story so much. People are like, oh, good guys finish last. No, they don't. No, they don't. You know what I mean? When you're a good person, man, it goes a long way.
Well, he showed his worth because out of all these wide receivers, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they done had Joe Burrow and Diggs done had Josh Allen. This dude played with whoever we lined up with him.
It's been going that way.
We gave him one legit quarterback, and he breaks the league wide open.
Yeah.
Like, that tells you everything.
And Zach said something really cool in his post game. We was talking about Jay, and he was like, I wish I was playing. I wish I could start
22.
Yeah, I wish I could start my career over and do it at 22 because it would be a special run.
Yeah.
And I kind of think about that same thing for Terry. Like there was conversations and where it's like, is he a true one? Is he this? Is he that? And to see a guy who is accurate and decisive with the football and how that maximizes
his talent,
Terry, and having a coordinator again who understands how to use him too with Cliff, I think is a really important thing. And you always say it, Fred. Receivers are at the disposal of the quarterback. And
you are.
And you see that here, and it's
you're looking at him.
That's right. Fred talks about it, but you lived it.
Lord have mercy.
Listen.
What if?
It ain't nothing like as a quarterback looking at a wide receiver sit on the sideline knowing that his quarterback is Nate Peterman.
Nate Peterman catches strays. Rightfully so, though.
I'm sorry, Nate.
Rightfully so, though.
Nate just part of the bottom of the 1%, but Nate, you part of the 1%.
Yeah, you're in it.
You're in it.
Yeah, you're in it. So
I don't mean nobody, Nate. Love.
And then this one is also fun, man. It's just like good to be. How fun is it to be talking about good football?
Yeah, man.
Jaden Daniels is the future MVP winner. He has the potential to win MVP.
Yes.
See it
Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Because he can win it a couple of different ways.
Yeah.
All right. Because he can win it with his feet, with his with the winning percentage. He can win it
Here.
He just mentally, like he just there.
Yeah.
He's present, and he's the type guy to hold that trophy up and not give a damn about it.
Very like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing about Patrick Mahomes that I have a ton of respect for is you win a lot. You win big games a lot, but it doesn't seem like you really care.
Yeah, he's numb to it. Like yesterday, I'm watching the game. It's tight.
Yeah.
I watch him, Andy Reid call the play. He like, hold his beer, Mike.
Yeah.
He goes
out there with his little funny way of getting out there.
When he started waddling, I'd be like, somebody's in trouble right now.
It's amazing to see that. And you're right, bringing up Pat, because I'm watching that game. We riding home, and I got it on my phone, and I'm just watching it. It's like Buffalo out there willing and dealing. They balling. And Pat on the sideline, like, okay, it's time for they score. All right, let's go. I'm getting warmed up. Like you didn't see him say, "Let's go, let's do this." No. Same blank expression,
demeanor,
and go out there and ball.
Yeah, which I appreciate. And like, there's something about those guys that are just like never satisfied. Like Tom Brady was like that. You know what I mean? Like no matter how many you won, it was like I'm gonna win another one.
Yeah, and that's why I like what Jaden said the other day. I mean, yesterday. They were like, yeah, you had a long year, you know, coming off your college year, going right into your rookie year. He was like, yeah, I'll probably take me about 10 days. Then I'm right back.
Respect,
though. Yeah, like,
I mean, I never took more than 2 weeks.
Man, you look at it like this, man. We have so much to our disposal now as athletes. You can see what the best did to be the best.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch what LeBron has done. Like, I would just go look at LeBron. I mean, if I feel like I'm that guy,
timeless,
want to be that guy, what is he doing with his body, with his off season,
with his time,
you know, in the weight room? Like, and I know it's two different sports.
Yeah, but it's still
bro,
it's schedule. But the schedule,
yeah, the schedule, just how he basically manages his life. You know, because this guy does so much other things other than basketball too. When it comes to businesses, you know, running his organization, all that stuff. So that's what we have at our disposal now. And as an athlete, it's a special time, bro, because I'm trying to tell my son that, like, look, bro, I didn't have what you have now. Just look at this stuff. You can Google now every route. If you want to be a receiver, Google it.
Yeah.
If you want to be a DN, Google it. Like, it's there. All the footage, all the film, the information is endless. So,
but I just like the fact that he's not a fraud. He's not putting on a show for
it's not a show. This is what he do.
I enjoyed it because I done seen quarterbacks do this.
This is what he do.
You know, I'm sorry.
Do you have someone in mind? I'm just kidding.
No,
We don't want to hear it.
Come on.
We don't want to hear it.
Russell is kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
Russell Wilson. Russell is kind of like that because you thought I was a Robert. Gonna be a Robert.
Hey, Muhammad.
Yeah, I know it. But then when I had that Russell,
you a fool.
but we done seen guys put on for the camera.
Yeah.
We know how that feels, and I like the fact that our guy don't feel like he has to do that. He's just like, you know,
that's who he is.
Yeah, that's who I am. I don't need to do that.
And it's not bad that Russell. He's a salesman in front of the camera.
That's right.
That's right. Hey, you know, I want to get on out here and do what I gotta do. You know, my Lord and Savior. You know, I gotta give him more credit. I give it to him, but
that's one way to do it.
But I also say he has backed it up early in his career, so it kind of. I guess you can say it grew.
But Richard
it wasn't out the gate.
Richard Sherman and Marshawn
they knew.
The guys in the building.
They knew it was something different.
They knew it was something different.
But like that's one way of doing it, right? But then you look at like Lamar when he does interviews, and he says profound things, but he is himself.
Yeah, he's himself the whole time.
Josh Allen,
you almost want him not to be himself.
Is
like,
himself.
Come on, Lamar, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Josh Allen the same way.
But they're very similar that way. And then you look at Mahomes is a little bit more Russell Wilson, right? He's a little bit more like.
But Mahomes is not really
Russell Wilson. I don't look at it like that.
No.
But I'm saying,
what the hell he talking about half the time? But in terms it's always said well. He speaks
he's well spoken,
but he don't really say much.
He
He's
don't
like,
say much.
Man, you know, the team, we go out there and do what we got to do.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to get back out here.
It's like, vanilla.
It's vanilla.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Vanilla.
I got you.
It's vanilla, but it's not over the top.
Yeah, it's not over the top.
You know, Russell can get a little over the top.
Nah, get over the top.
You know,
and I've had other guys that I've been a part of. Like I've been in the locker room with a few quarterbacks in my day that was like that, and the play was rare. It was there, but it wasn't like how they spoke. And you'd be like, bro, we got to go out there and play. All that shit you say, it sound good, but we got to go out there.
I played with Jeff George.
We got to go out there and play.
All right? And I don't know if y'all know about Jeff George, but Jeff George is a character.
Is he?
The general. Listen to me. Jeff George, athletically, throwing the ball, I don't think I ever seen a better thrower.
Really?
A cannon for an arm. But Jeff George, the person, was an idiot.
You?
No.
He a smooth.
No, Jeff George is about Jeff George. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think that got in the way of Jeff being great.
Yeah. And so to bring that all around is it right now after this year, it seems like Jaden is himself.
Yeah, man.
He doesn't look too far ahead. He's got all these things that allow him to continue to get better. And
his feet are grounded.
And then talk about like MVP's impact on a roster, most valuable player, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely think after watching him this year,
I think too what's important that we fail to realize is it's just a support system, and I think that's what JD has going good for him. Man, mom and dad is always in his corner.
And the coaches and his GM.
He have the right kind of,
like everything is perfect around
He
him.
had the route foundation. So, you know, you can look forward to this guy being who he is and just elevating, you know what I mean? Just being better year
I
after
can't
year.
wait till we get Jay to bring up this draft footage from a year ago when we was talking about this.
I think
You
you're
did not
you're a
say
big
that.
Drake May guy.
No, I said I like Drake May, but I like Jaden more. I said Jay gonna be a Hall of Fame.
Can't even get it out. Can't even get it out.
I think I remember you saying something about JJ McCarthy or something.
I like JJ.
I like JJ. I think
A
JJ
pair
gonna
of
be
lips
great.
to tell a lie.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks for a great year, both you guys. We're not
It's so
stopping.
sad that
we're
the year is
we're
ending.
still doing shows.
Yeah, we still gonna do the show.
Yeah, so-
but it just officially came to it.
Yeah.
This was the calendar in right here.
This ride was, boy.
It was unbelievable.
I
You
was
know what
on
it
a
felt
ride.
like, Tanner? It felt like 1980s, and we riding on the back of our daddy pickup truck. He
pickup
doing
truck.
every bit of 70 mile per hour because we going to the fair right
Going
now.
to the beach on the fair.
Drive that thing, Daddy.
You waving at everybody in traffic.
Dad, you hunking to get the 18 wheeler to hunt.
You go straight to jail now if you was there. You
I was going to say, that seems a little sketchy, yeah.
Times have changed.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, and hopefully the times have changed around here. But
Yeah.
thanks for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to see us do this thing live, check us out on YouTube. And then we have all these other shows we do every single week on the Commanders YouTube page. Make sure you check those out as well. Thanks so much for joining. And that's it.